Yogi Bear. Another cartoon I grew up watching as a kid, and another game that I loved playing on the trusty Commodore 64 back in the day. Here, Yogi finds that his lifelong pal, Boo Boo, has fallen into the clutches of a greedy hunter who intends to sell him to a circus. You play as Yogi and must rescue the burnout Boo Boo from the cage in which he has been imprisoned, and as you see, the game begins with the hunter whisking helpless Boo Boo across the screen and away into the depth of Jellystone Park, where he will remain pacing up and down awaiting his fate to be sold to a circus. Now, Yogi might not be the most instantly recognisable cartoon character, and probably comes a long way behind the likes of Bugs Bunny, Fred Flintstone and the Roadrunner, but this game from Piranha will really test to see if Yogi really is smarter than the average bear. In case you need reminding, the Boo Boo-ometer at the bottom of the screen shows him in the cage together with the number of screens remaining before you reach him. In the beginning, the game is pretty easy going, with the only things requiring to be avoided things like holes in the ground or the odd frog here and there, progressing on to the odd geyser which will cause you to lose energy if you collide with one. Also, you'll occasionally come across Ranger Smith, who chases you, seemingly for no apparent reason, and there are also more hunters within the game, as well as all sorts of other enemy types, such as crazy campers and even the odd moose, all of which should be avoided. Otherwise you will lose energy, which in turn will mean one of your lives depleting, displayed at the bottom of the screen. If all else fails, you can shake the human enemies off by disguising yourself as a bush, proving that you're definitely smarter than the average bear, but again, this uses up your energy. Talking about the energy bar, your remaining energy is measured by a meter in the bottom left of the screen, depicted as a little caricature of Yogi, who will slowly sink down into the screen, eventually with a huge exclamation mark above as you become weaker and weaker. You'll also get an audible notification that your energy is low, with a slow beeping sound. Thankfully, you can replenish your energy by grabbing picnic hampers left lying around by careless campers, and you can also steal fish from the end of fishing lines caught by the anglers. Stealing the fish was tricky though sometimes, as if you try to steal a fish and there is no fish on the hook at the time, you'll just lose more energy. You'll need to do a lot of food grabbing in this game though, so you'll soon get the hang of the fish thing, because the whole of this park feels like an obstacle course of energy sapping nasties everywhere. I've mentioned the moose, but there's also bees and what appears to be some sort of giant seagull, probably a vulture. Far more lethal though are the snakes, who will literally kill you with one touch. The object of the game is twofold. A calendar in the bottom right of the screen shows the days ticking by from the January date when Boo Boo was burnout. I must admit, it's hard enough just to survive as long as you can, but you can record your high scores, so there is a replayability factor for sure. But the main objective is to try and rescue Boo Boo in as short a time as possible. To rescue the little fella in the shortest time, you'll need to take advantage of the cave systems within the game. These operate in kind of a snakes and ladders kind of concept. If you enter a cave, you might come out many screens in advance of your original position. The only flip side is that you may even end up miles back from where you are. I'd say it's worth the risk if you want to get to Boo Boo quicker than going through all of the obstacles in the game, and you should constantly check the indicator at the bottom of the screen to see if the caves were worth the risk, and make a note of how close the particular caves will bring you to your goal. Just to make things that little bit more difficult than it already is, even when you reach Boo Boo, the game isn't over. First, you need to hop across some strange shaped stepping stones in the correct sequence before you can grab the key from the camper's cabin. If you do this in the wrong order, the alarm goes off and it's goodbye to another life. Again, there's help at hand. Boo Boo has left a trail of toffee apples with clues stuck to them, but they're usually pretty difficult to get. The problem with using the caves mentioned earlier may mean that you'll also miss out on some of these toffee apples, meaning you're going to have to guess the combination at the end, with 50-50 chances of you being correct or dead. Each toffee apple you find will reveal a part of the combination code for the jumping pattern, which I thought was pretty clever back when I was a kid. Even though this game is pretty hard, I really enjoyed it as a kid. I think the graphics and animation are brilliant throughout, and was pretty much faithful to its cartoon likeness. The super smooth scrolling and scenic mounting backdrop was pretty effective, and even the sound effects and music were pretty decent too. Hopefully you'll give this a whirl and won't end up like a bear with a sore head at the difficulty of avoiding the numerous obstacles where precision jumping is key. Nevertheless, it is fun, and I believe this is a very good cartoon conversion that will provide you with some decent entertainment even after all these years. Or do you remember this game first time around? Hit the like button and let me know your thoughts in the comment section. I'd be interested to know who else played this game back in the day. Thanks for watching, guys. There were quite a few good cartoon conversions for the Commodore 64, and hopefully I'll get through them all eventually. If you enjoy these nostalgic videos, then please consider subscribing to the channel so that you won't miss any future videos revisiting the games for the computer we grew up with and still love to this day. I massively appreciate your support, the super thanks, the Patreon followers, just everyone really. You all inspire me to continue, and I hope to see you all in the next video. Until then, bye for now. Just want to take a moment to thank the following patrons. It's massively appreciated that you're supporting the channel, covering the games we love. Stay retro.